What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Don. We are back with another video. Today, we got to talk about the free agency period for the Knicks. Um, and it's crazy because I woke up this morning and I didn't want to make this video right away. I also didn't even want to make it last night because if I made it anytime sooner than I would have now, I probably would have had a very emotional reaction towards everything. And I needed some time to really let things settle down and really analyze things and analyze really what the Knicks were trying to do and what we ended up getting. I can be a really salty fan and say that we didn't accomplish anything of what we needed to do. But did we really not accomplish everything, or because of what we ended up with instead of what we wanted, now we're in a situation where we're just angry and mad about, for example, not getting KD or Kyrie. When in reality, let me tell you a couple of things that I personally think happened. Of course I don't have NBA sources or anything like that, but I can have usually if you check out my videos, my previous videos, and please do if you're new to the channel, I got some good stuff on here. We just started building this channel a couple months ago. Um, I tend to not be too far off, but what the actual scenario ends up being. And the first thing when it comes to KD and Kyrie, which is what I'm going to talk about now, and then after this I will talk about what's next for the Knicks. Um, I do not think that KD or Kyrie ever wanted to come to the Knicks. Honestly. So because we're forgetting the fact that yeah, the free agents, we spin this idea of KD coming to the Knicks so much, and if you check my videos, I said there's a real possibility of Knicks not getting anybody, because if it was KD or nothing, then nothing was the most likely scenario. And we're forgetting about that. I always thought that KD wanted to come with Kyrie somewhere. And as soon as Kyrie went to Brooklyn, um, my intuition was that KD was gonna stay, but he had actually informed the team. I think as of yesterday, I was in a team meeting. I read that KD would not resign, and Brooklyn is the city that he ended up choosing in New York, which is not surprising because they're honestly the better team. They're in every shape or form. The Brooklyn Nets are better than the Knicks at this moment. But there are a couple of things here that nobody's going to talk about because everybody just wanted to have the superstar so bad. It's almost like we're forgetting what has happened to us as Knicks fans in the past before. We've been here before. When we talk about Stat, we talk about Melo, we talk about Derrick Rose, we talk about even Porzingis, we talk about so many guys that have come before who end up getting injured and we end up getting no value for it at the end, really. You know, we end up looking foolish once again, and I think James Dolan and those guys, Scott Perry, what we're looking at is like, listen, um, KD's hurt. And not to say that they wouldn't have given him the max, by the way, because I do think that they were going to give him the max. I just think that KD just never wanted to come to New York. So us saying that, oh, we didn't want to give him the max, I mean, I guess it sounds you can't really save it, but I guess saying that sounds a lot better than KD saying, oh man, I didn't even want to come here, because I just read 1 minute ago Deadspin article stating that KD didn't even give the Knicks a meeting. So that just tells you that the plan A was pretty much done before free agency had started. Plan A, and as I'm making this video, I can announce to you that we have signed Ellington on a 2-year deal. I believe this is 16 million. Good shooter. But you see what I'm saying? The plan A was KD. But if KD never came, plan B was to add assets to aid our youth, which is what the Knicks have done. You cannot be mad about that, because the reality is that KD is not playing this year. A lot of people forget KD is not playing. He's out the whole year. We already seen Kyrie in Boston. He can't be the leader. And remember, D'Lo is now gone. D'Lo went to the Warriors, and that's a separate video. Brooklyn put all their eggs in one basket and they're praying that this works. But from what I can tell you, the better acquisition was KD, and KD is not playing this year. You really think Kyrie's gonna lead this team? If he couldn't, that Boston team was even better than what Brooklyn is now, and Kyrie couldn't do it. I don't think we should be so pessimistic as Knicks fans. Yeah, we didn't get the big free agents that we wanted, but we also didn't make the big mistakes that we're used to making. Honestly, like be honest. We just got another solid player in Wayne Ellington. These are all 2 year deals. We didn't give anybody 4 year deals, which means that we would be back in the running to see what we can do in another 2 years. This is the only way to really win. Not to mention R.J. Barrett. Let's see what he turns into. Kevin Knox is already a pretty good player. I'm not saying that I'm not disappointed as a Knicks fan, but for what it's worth, it's not bad. It's not what we wanted, but we didn't make the same mistakes that we're used to making. And I know we're looking around the league. You see Al Horford getting big money. You see Kemba getting big money. We've tried that before. How many teams in the last couple of years that won championships made big splashes on free agents and then they won? That Golden State team was made like 4 years ago through the draft. The Toronto Raptors team that just won, most of these guys were barely most of these guys were not even drafted. And if they were drafted, they were late picks. Guys like Van Vliet, guys like Siakam, guys like we're gonna exclude Kawhi, guys like Serge Ibaka who were just good role players that became good as a unit. We can't overlook the injury of KD as Knicks fans. It's a significant injury. There's a reason he's not playing the whole year. So I'm not disappointed, but for what it's worth, where we are now, it's not that bad. It's not that bad because we did sign. As I go over the signings that we did make, so we signed Julius Randle. We signed Julius Randle to a 3 year, $63 million contract. 3 year. So that's the most, right? I think he almost averaged 20. I think he averaged about 18. He's like he can get like a double game. We signed Taj Gibson, which I'm not really sure on Taj Gibson what the idea was about that. To be honest, he's getting very old, but I guess we needed some experience. You know, we signed Bobby Portis as well. Let me just run the numbers for Taj Gibson real quick. Taj Gibson will be, let's see, Taj Gibson, 2 years, 20 million. See, we signed Julius for 3, Taj for 2. Now next was Bobby Portis, 2 year, 31 million. I don't know about that one. That's the only one I don't really know about Bobby Portis like that. Um, I don't know. I don't know about that signing. I feel like we could have done something else with that, but it's okay. We needed to have guys on our roster now that are at least decent enough so that we can complement the youth and see what we can build. Similarly to how Brooklyn really built their team, and then D'Angelo came along it's because D'Angelo came along that Brooklyn was able to do what they did. Because without D'Angelo, half this stuff would have never happened. So the attraction of Brooklyn grew throughout the year because of what D'Angelo was doing, and the team was just gelling. And we signed. As I move on to the next pick, it's Reggie Bullock. We got him for 2 year, 21 million. So we're giving out like 20 million in contracts for almost every player, which goes to about 140. If you add the Ellington deal for 60 million, which leaves us with like almost nothing now. It probably leaves us with like 1 mil, 2 mil, and then that's it for the next 2 years. So as a Knicks fan, should you be disappointed? No, because you've seen what happened when we splashed big, so we splashed smart, and you gotta be patient. We also have youth waiting. Um, but let me know what you think in the comment section. Am I being too excited? Am I being too optimistic? I don't think so. I think the smart move was the best move instead of trying to splash. I didn't really roast James Dolan or anything like that because I actually don't think it's worth anything. You know, we did the best with what we had, and this is what we have to do. But let your boy Dino in the comment section. I might need to make a part two to this video. You know, so many things I still got to talk about. I also still got to talk about the remaining free agents that signed elsewhere in the NBA. But let your boy Dino in the comment section. What do you think about the Knicks move so far? Wayne Ellington came in late, so we got that as well. But I'll see y'all next time. Like, comment, rate, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all again, man. Peace. I'm out.